Hello and welcome to VNA News Daily Bulletin. I'm Bảo Trung from Hanoi, and coming up next are our top stories. Conference to study 12-party Congress resolution wraps up. Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc welcomes Kumho Asiana's chairman. Mekong Delta develops crops for climate change adaptation. The conference to study the resolution and documents issued by the 12th National Party Congress came to a close on April 20th. More in the following. The conference gathered key party officials from ministries, central agencies, organizations, and localities to study the resolution and documents issued by the 12th National Party Congress. It marked the start of a program to study Party Congress resolution and documents among the entire party, people, and the army. During the conference, delegates heard reports on a range of issues, such as the fundamental contents of the political report adopted at the 12th National Party Congress, the party building work, and the performance of socio-economic development tasks in the 2011 to 2016 period, and socio-economic orientations for 2016 to 2020. Politburo member and standing member of the Party Central Committee Secretariat Đinh Thế Huynh concluded that most of the delegates agreed that the reports met the requirements on disseminating important viewpoints, key contents, and new issues in the Party Congress documents. He asked the participants to direct the learning and implementation of the Party Congress resolution at their localities and organizations in a practical and effective manner. He noted while closely observing the resolution, leaders should consider real conditions of their localities and organizations when making plans of action. Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc hosted a reception for Kumho Asiana Group Chairman Park Sam-koo in Hanoi on April 20th. At the reception, Prime Minister Phúc said the Vietnamese government always facilitates foreign investment in Vietnam. He valued contributions made by Chairman Park Sam-koo and Kumho Asiana in trade, investment, culture and education cooperation between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea. He asked the group to expand its investment in Vietnam and increase its support for cultural and educational projects in the country. He also said the Vietnamese government will continue to improve its investment environment to attract more foreign investors. Mr. Park Sam-koo thanked Prime Minister Phúc for meeting him and expressed his pleasure to be the first foreign investor to meet with the newly elected government leader. He pledged the Kumho Asiana will continue to implement more programs and projects to contribute to enhancing cooperation and mutual understanding between the two business circles and peoples. A conference took place in Hanoi on April 20th to review 2 decades of the Asia-Europe meeting and make proposals to set the grouping's track for its 3rd decade at the upcoming ASEM summit in Mongolia in July. Since its inception in March 1996, ASEM has proved to be an important and the largest dialogue and cooperation forum between the two continents. The cooperation plays a vital role in Vietnam's renewal, development and international integration process. 14 out of 16 FTAs Vietnam has inked or been negotiating are with ASEM partners. This helps make Vietnam an important section in the global value chain and the wide economic connection network with 60 partners, including 47 ASEM members.
ASEM members are all Vietnam's important trade and economic partners. Our ministries, branches and localities have taken advantage of the members' experience and support in responding to climate change, water management, in parallel with sustainable development and environmental protection. Vietnam also benefits from human resource development via ASEM cooperation mechanism.
During the conference, participants shared experience in joining ASEM cooperation and proposed ways for Vietnam to take up a bigger role in ASEM in the next decade. The first consultative meeting of Eurasian Parliament speakers took place in Moscow, Russia on April 19th, aiming to boost parliamentary cooperation between Asian and European countries. National Assembly Vice Chairman Uông Chu Lưu led the Vietnamese delegation to the event.
Chairman of the State Duma, Sergei Naraskin, analyzed the theme of the meeting, which aims to create a multilateral international cooperation system. He also passed on greetings of Russian President Vladimir Putin to the meeting. Participants discussed the development of interparliamentary dialogue in Eurasia and a bid to expand cooperation in politics, economics, legal and humanitarian issues, as well as environmental protection and reinforcement of peace and extremism prevention. In his speech, National Assembly Vice Chairman Wong Shu-liu said the meeting has promoted the active role of parliamentary diplomacy in international politics. He suggested exchanging measures to promote Euro-Asian connectivity, create an equal and thriving society, while proposing a number of measures to expand Euro-Asian collaboration and handle issues of bilateral concerns. The event drew speakers from 19 countries in the 2 continents and delegates of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
Businesses need to be fully aware of the importance of intellectual property and make it a critical part of their development strategies, especially when the country is now a member of the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Deputy Minister of Science and Technology Trần Viết Thành said at a discussion in Hanoi on April 20th, Vietnam's efforts to protect intellectual property rights have yet to meet the real demand as well as international commitments. Vietnam has implemented intellectual property rights from the central to grassroots levels with such programs as the one on fighting smuggling, trade fraud and counterfeits, and the other on preventing intellectual property infringements. However, the violation of intellectual property rights is still rising, he emphasized. As a TPP member, Vietnam must realize the commitments on IP rights, foreign investment, environment and labor standards, competition, and state-owned enterprises, and the settlement of disputes, Deputy Minister Thành noted. At the discussion, many insiders called on companies to survey the market regularly to timely detect any violations of their IP rights. The function was among activities in response to the World Intellectual Property Day, April 26th.
Argentina's newspaper Clarín has run an article saying that Vietnam's agricultural sector is likely to benefit greatly from the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. In the article entitled Vietnamese Agriculture Seeking Investment, the newspaper says the country will attract millions of US dollars of investment and see a boom in food production. The agreement could help Vietnam's rice shipments to Asian markets multiply by 6, which could also pose environmental challenges due to the practice of growing multiple crops a year and heavy use of pesticides and fertilizers. The article suggests that the most viable alternative would be industrializing food production on the basis of foreign investment. The TPP will help attract more foreign investment to Vietnam, especially from the US and Japan. For the first time, Vietnam can draw foreign investment into the agricultural sector. The article notes that the country's economy could grow by 6.7% this year. When the TPP goes into effect, GDP could grow by 11%, while export turnover could increase by 12% or more in the next 10 years. Ho Chi Minh City's Industrial Production Index increased by 5.7% in the first quarter, the highest growth rate in the past 5 years. More details coming up next. A report from the city's Department of Industry and Trade shows that the processing and manufacturing sector grew by 5.8% in the period. The Industrial Production Index of 4 main industrial sectors grew at 5.3% year-on-year. Overall, first quarter growth in the last few years has been 2.7% in 2012, 3.6% in 2013, and 4.9% in 2014. The figures indicate that the city's business environment has become increasingly benign with the rolling out of incentives on investments and credit and administrative reforms. Ho Chi Minh City's rank in the Provincial Competitiveness Index has been improving commensurately, rising to the 4th place in 2014 from the 20th position in 2011. In the Provincial Public Administration Reform Index, it ranked 6th last year. The People's Committee of Tai Binh Province will devise a master plan for Khao Pagoda, a special national relic based in Vũ Thư district, to make it easier for the preservation and value promotion work.
Accordingly, the plan will be examined by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism before reaching the Prime Minister for approval. Just over 130 kilometers away from the capital city of Hanoi, Khao Pagoda was built in 1632 and has 102 rooms, more than any other pagoda in Vietnam. There are 2 passages which separate the pagoda from the temple. They are designed with curved roofs that join together at the 11.5 high iron and wood bell tower. The tower has 3 stories, each of which possesses its own tiled roof and bronze bell. The 108,000 square meter pagoda is home to a wealth of Asian artifacts, which range from intricately engraved wooden dragons to a collection of over 100 statues. It has also preserved many valuable antiques, such as a pair of candlesticks from the Mark dynasty, pottery and altars from the Lê dynasty, and several imperial boats. The pagoda was recognized as a National Historical Cultural Relic on April 28, 1962. In September 2012, the government recognized Khao Pagoda as a special national relic.
To deal with severe saltwater intrusion in the region, the Cửu Long Delta Rice Research Institute has developed new salinity-resistant rice varieties that can adapt to the fluctuations of climate change. Let's take a look.
OM9921 rice variety was developed in 2015. It can survive in up to twice the saline threshold of regular rice crops.
Many farmers in the coastal regions have adopted this new crop variety. OM9921 has a lovely fragrance. It is delicious and it can survive in salt-intruded land.
At the moment, the Institute has announced 30 new salinity-resistant rice varieties that prove to have strong pesticide resistance and gives an average yield of up to 8 tons per hectare. Yet the rapid deterioration of land quality is increasing the demand for even stronger breeds. The Institute is pushing the research into several new varieties that can grow in higher saline limit.
We will continue to create new rice varieties to adapt to the rising level of salt in farming land to keep up with demands.
The Department of Crops Production is encouraging farmers to use these new crops, ensuring stable productions and maintaining the nation's food security.
We should mark out areas with fertile land and stable climate conditions to produce high-quality yields for export, while zoning off other areas for ensuring national food security.
This breakthrough in agricultural engineering is not only allowing farmers of the Mekong Delta to minimize the damages caused by climate change, but as a result, it is also making great strides in improving the quality and productivity of the sector.
And that was the end of our news bulletin. Thanks for tuning in. For more information, please log on to our website at www.vietnamplus.vn. We'll see you soon.